Good afternoon. We are ByHarvest, and our mission is upcycling nature potential. Each year, the EU wastes 59 million tons of food. This generates more than 80 million tons of CO2 and represents massive loss of waste, energy, and labor. Food waste is not just an environmental issue. It's a structural inefficiency in the food system. Part of the 59 million tons come from household and retail, but the remaining part happened even before food reached consumers. About 6 million tons at farm, 11 million tons during processing, and 4 million tons across logistics. This is edible, nutrient-rich material, yet is discarded on a daily basis. These losses reveal how fragile our linear food system is. Produce, process, distribute, and discard. This system depends on constant inputs, create waste by design, and is vulnerable to supply shock, volatility, and geopolitical tensions. A circular system, instead, reintegrates unused biomass, improves resource efficiency, and increases resilience. This is exactly the direction of the EU Circular Economy Action Plan. Policy pressure is now accelerating adoption. The Waste Framework Directive set binding 2030 target, 10% reduction in processing and manufacturing waste, 30% per capita reduction across retail, food services, and household. This creates immediate demand for solutions that transform unavoidable surplus and byproduct into useful, traceable materials. Our belief is simple. Waste isn't a problem, it's a forgotten raw material.
This is what ByHarvest stands for. We turn surplus vegetable into nutritional powders. ByHarvest operates directly where waste is generated. We collect surplus vegetable and edible byproduct at the source from farms, sorting centers, and processors. Then we use gentle, low-temperature dehydration to stabilize them, and while preserving nutrients, color, and aroma. Then we produce clean label vegetable powder with no additives, starting from traceable circular raw material that would otherwise be discarded. The output is clear, single ingredient powder where nutrients are preserved. Our powders seamlessly integrate into high-demand B2B application. The main market is food manufacturing, where we can provide natural sources of color, flavors, and fibers. Beyond food, we focus on nutraceutical, cosmetics, and pet food. After scaling B2B, we will introduce consumer products such as functional powders, natural supplements, and blends built on the same upcycled ingredients. Demand for transparent, sustainable, and clean label nutrition continues to rise, and we fit directly into this trend. The market is large and growing fast. The global upcycling food and ingredient market is projected to grow from 59 to 125 billion US dollars at 8% annually, driven by clean label ingredient demand, regulatory pressure, and ESG-driven sourcing. ByHarvest sits in the intersection of all these three growth drivers. Our development path is straightforward. In 2025, we aim to finalize our lab-scale prototype. In 2026, we start to scale a pilot plant. In 2027, we will keep growing, focusing on industrial B2B application. And in 2028, we will launching our B2C product line. Our team combines expertise in industrial engineering, food processing, agriculture, and finance. We have a true understanding of the food processing, system from agricultural operation, processing technology to downstream market needs. By-harvest doesn't just reduce waste, we turn waste into value, creating circular traceable ingredients for food, nutraceutical, cosmetic, and pet food. Do not hesitate to reach us. And for those who are here, our colleague Luisa has a sample of our product that she can show you afterwards. Thanks.
Am I good?
Do you have any question? Okay.
Okay. So it really depends on the type of vegetable. Right now, we are focusing on the byproducts of processing plants, like, for example, the tomato peels. So we are in talk with the processor that have a huge volume of this byproduct. And then following food safety chain, let's say, we can collect from them and then bring to our site and then process it. And then you can have also other type of vegetables. So maybe, like, for example, one that we have here, we have the leek leaves that in that case is also come from a processing plant. But in that we have a different pre-processing before the dehydration. So it really depends on the type of vegetable. Yeah. Basically, all the vegetables that are processed in, for example, the tomatoes that are processed in the processing plant, they have all of the vegetables that are there. They have to have they have a standard to respect. So it's basically it's already under the limit of the residue of pesticide. But in any case, we after to follow the HACCP regulation, we have to do the analysis to be sure that there is no residues. Yeah, there are, but it's a really open field. This, because there are, for example, other competitors that collect, like, for the fruits, for example, they are ugly fruits, and then they process it, but they create the dried, like the dried apples, for example. And or there are other competitors that are maybe just focused on one vegetables. Instead, we design our system to be flexible and to be able to receive the tomato peas, the leek, the pumpkins, many different kind of vegetables. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Also, that's another interesting point, because in our idea of scaling is like deploy several hub in the areas of agricultural production. So to get close to the source of the raw material, so we can cut the logistic problem, basically, or reduce it. It's really, I mean, in our case, we develop our prototype. You can do it basically in many ways, but we develop our proprietary process to optimize the variables that we think that are important. So to preserve basically the majority of the nutrients basically that are inside the vegetables. Yes. Yeah, basically, the thing is that right now there are these waste vegetables, these byproducts that are not valorized. So our business model is to collect them from the supplier, give them revenue, then transform it and create a premium ingredient. So in this way, we can ensure that the producer of the byproduct gets a revenue, and we in saving basically a waste, saving a byproduct that would be a waste, we transform it in from byproduct we go to high premium ingredients, and then so we can have a high margin basically. Yeah, it's a revenue share model, and but we are also thinking of a partnership with the supplier, basically, of the raw materials. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, basically for pilot plant, we are not thinking a big pilot plant. It's like a smaller a pilot plant that we will prove our model, but it's not like it's not a huge dimension. So we are thinking about a plant that can go for like can work 1 ton a day of product of byproduct basically, and so it's it's not going to be huge, and also it shouldn't have so many problems on the building basically, because we already have experience in our career. We already have experience of building plants and process the food, so we already know how we have to move basically. Yeah. No, I know that's the interesting point, because we transform byproducts. It's let's say it's a byproduct of a production. Then, if you discard it, become a waste. So we are not going to take. As I said before. Yeah, exactly. We pay a revenue, but right now they don't get anything. That's the difference. So they are also interested in doing something like that. Okay.